KCC311 weeks 5 and 6. Picking up again from the last one, we're talking about maps this week. Last time, web apps, Google My Maps. So here's the example that I created in the last one. Using the internet, I think it was map chart, we said, hey, let's make these red, let's make these green. Got a nice little legend. Okay, it's nice. Let's find another way to do it, a more interactive sort of map. It's called a Google My Map. Get to your Google email. Your Kindle email. It'll look like this. You'll probably have more messages. And here you get this little tic-tac-toe. Click the Google Drive. And we've been here before, right? This is where we make the graphics, the Google drawings I've had you submit. And you can create new. And yeah, okay, here we go. Some basic stuff if you want to make a spreadsheet, all that sort of thing. But if you go to more Google Drawing, that's the graphics we've made before. Google My Maps. This is our focus for our more interactive, our second type of map for the 5 and 6 assignment. And so you'll see I'll get a nice little map like this. Or this looks like your typical Google Maps that maybe you've used before in personal things. Say, hey, how do you get from Chicago to St. Louis or whatever. So this looks familiar, but I want to get a little more detail. I want to be able to say, look at the United States. Let's color them differently. We need to import what I call a KML file. I know it's a little more technical, but these things are accessible, and I'll make sure I give you the files you need. But I need a KML file. There is one for downloading course documents. Once you have downloaded, don't try and open it directly. It'll get an error. But if you import, then we can deal with it. So get to My Maps, click Import, select from your computer, and there it is, USA.kml. And I hit Open. It takes a second. It's got to read all the coordinates and GPS, all that sort of thing. And you see it thinks for a little bit. And ta-da! There we go. Now I have a Google map, like I said, this is the stuff you might use to check out the traffic and so forth. But now I have a map overlaid on top of it so I can see each of the states. All right, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. But remember what we had before. We had nice colors. Hey, these are red and these are green and so forth. And right now I just have sort of blank states. We got to do a little work based on the KML. Remember, KML you need to import. Once you import, how do we color? And up here you have a list of all the states, and you could color them one by one. It might take a while. We are going to have to do a little one by one, but I'll show you a different thing we're going to do. Click these triple dots up here, and they got a lot of information. I like the idea of a data table because, well, let's face it, the big data class, we're dealing with data. Can I look at each of these states and give some more information? And as it is, we already got a ton of information. It says, yeah, Alabama, here's a lot of information, and GEO-ID, I don't know what that means. I think that's what the post office uses, and you got the land and water. Lots of information about these states. But in particular, this is what we're going to have you do. Go up to the state name, click this little triangle, insert column after. And it says it needs a name. I said, well, I want to tell you what region it is. Hey, remember week 4, I said find the regions of Chicago. You're doing the regions of the United States. So hit add, and you'll see this little new box right here. And now your job is to tell me what region each of these states is. Okay, we got to do it 50 times for each of the states, but I don't think that's a horrible ask for you. I'm saying Alabama, what region it is. Maybe you say, okay, that's in the south. Alaska, maybe you say, okay, well, that's in the west. Arizona, maybe you say that's the mountains. Arkansas, maybe you say that's the Midwest. Are there any right answers? Of course there's not, as long as it's your own personal take on geography. California, I think we can call that one west. Colorado, I think we call that mountain. Connecticut, I think that's New England. I'm going to just do a couple more, just get the right idea, but you see the issues. Delaware, let's call that Atlantic, right? DC, that's pretty close to the Atlantic Ocean, right? I've got to spell it right. Atlantic. All right, now we're getting there. And one last one. Florida, I'll throw it in the south as well. Yeah, you got to do 50 times, but it's not a horrible thing. Each of the states, got to go to insert a column, and once you insert a column, tell me the regions. Okay, so and then I do that, and I close out. Wait a minute, nothing changed. The map still looks exactly the same. Okay, there's a couple outlines here, but what's different? Here we go. Up to this little paint roller. We got to color the paint roller. You get the idea, color. So I click that, and it says group places by. Well, I just told it regions. So if you go click that paint roller, group it by, and then find those regions. And you should see, yep, there we go. It's about 10 states, because that's what I did. I typed in 10 states. And you see that some of them, like these two, are the same color because they're in the same region. These ones are all different colors because they're sort of onesie-twosies. You do it 50 times, you should have the colors sort of match in your United States. Real quick recap. You import the KML file. Triple dots, data table, insert a column. Once you insert the column, tell me some regions, and then click the paint roller, group places by region, and you should be in business. you should have a colored map. And it'll be interactive. You can go in, zoom out, click a state, you'll get all the information. All right, not so bad. But here's the last step. The last step for 5 and 6. You're going to be able to link me a copy of your Google My Map, which will be colored, and it'll be great. But the last step I'm going to have you do is I want you to add an icon. So for instance, right now I could look at these the mountain states, I think were these green ones, and I want you to be able to tell me a title for them, because right now look at what happened in our this one. I have the regions, but I also have a little legend here. It tells me what's going on for each of the groups of states. I don't have that here. But if you go to add layer, it says import. Well, no, we already imported. We don't need to do that. I'm going to do it creating a little marker. So I'm going to put a marker right. There we go. Marker. And what did I call these? The mountain states. So add the mountain states. And then underneath in this box, I can add a description. The mountain states are ... Hey, guess what you're going to fill the ... with? Well, check the third video, because you're going to go to a spreadsheet, and I think for week 5 and 6, you're going to tell me the population of each region. But if you save it, then my map will have different states. That's what you colored up here. And it will have icons that you can click with information. So it's a more interactive version of this map. Here, I can see the region, I can see the title, but I can't click it. If you get this Google My Map, you'll be able to see each of the states, and you'll be able to click an icon and get some information. A couple more moving parts in this version, but that is what you're looking for. The second type of map for 5 and 6. An interactive Google map with a KML file and little icons for each of your regions. It's technical stuff, and I know that you're going to have some questions, but please reach out on email, and I can prompt different ways to address those issues.